Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another bad comic beatdown. Haven't done one of these in a long time. I did the comic book origin of this, and that's where I do the first appearance, but they said, hey, what is the origin? And I was like, oh, no, this is the very first comprehensive origin story for the Female Furies. Unfortunately, it was written by, what was her name, Cecil Castellucci, and it's not good, guys. We're in for a treat here. So this was a commissioned video, and if you want to commission a video for yourself, just go on over to Ko-Fi. Links in the description below. Choose any topic that you like. We've got quite a few here, or any subject in that topic, and we'll get the video out to you ASAP. Now, it's a lot of fun doing these things. You guys have come up with some bizarre topic or subjects. You really have, and I've read some books I've never read before. And I love doing that. What I don't love is the reason why YouTube has been crushing I Love Comics. It's a dead channel at this point, unfortunately. YouTube's not sharing the videos anymore, so I started up Old Man Comics. You can find it by the link in the description below, or by going to Old Man Comics Englentine in the search bar, and it'll pop up so you can subscribe. Make sure you're ringing that notification bell, that your notifications are on all, or YouTube doesn't really care. Yeah, a lot of fun there. And when it hits 1,000, all videos, all comic videos are going to go over there. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And with that aside, let's jump in to Female Furies #1, written by Cecil Castellucci. In all honesty, the cover's not all that bad. Yeah, I think Big Barda's face is a little bit off, but otherwise, I think it's all right. Colors are pretty good. I don't mind Big Barda actually being a big woman. Not like fat, but like muscular and such like that a little bit anyway. Not to the point where she's She-Hulk. But yeah, as far as what we're about to get, this is as good as it gets, and it ain't getting this good again. And we're told pretty quickly about what kind of book this is going to be. The Furies are the most elite fighting force on Apocalypse. We do things that most on our planet would cower from. We get the job done when others cannot. Given the chance, we can have real skin in the war against New Genesis. There are no warriors alive on this world or the next who are our equal, no matter what anyone ever tells you. And this is Granny Goodness saying this to the Female Furies. And, of course, we got the title, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Bleeding. Granny Goodness continues to tell our Furies the story about how Darkseid came to power and how she had a hand in it. It was Granny Goodness who was sent into Darkseid's mother's room to kill her, knowing that the most dangerous person is the one who is about to lose everything. So you have to steal that desperate fire in yourself. If you do not, you will lose everything in your defeat. If you ever fail me, Furies, there will be consequences, she says. And while Granny Goodness is fighting Darkseid's mom, Desaad comes in. He's like, oh, Darkseid wants her dead before he gets here, and she's strangled. You see, I'm working on it. And Desaad throws her some poison and says, that's taking too long here. And when Darkseid sees that she's dead, she says, is she dead? And Desaad says, yes, I killed her, with leaving Granny Goodness behind saying, well, it is our victory. Yeah, he came up with a method. Yours was going to take a little longer than what Darkseid wanted. The truth is there, man, seriously. Sorry for, I understand what they're trying to go for, man taking credit for a woman's work, but in this case, the man had a hand in it, dude. But you see what kind of comic book we're getting here. It is so filled with the not even feminist jargon. I mean, this is women are weak because of men jargon. It's beyond, it's third wave feminist, where women come from a place of victimhood instead of strength. And we cut to the Female Furies training Granny Goodness, and I train the Female Furies harder than I do the boys because we need to work that extra bit to get noticed, and we will have our place at the table. And she just rambles on about, she may share your room, but she is not your friend. And we see Big Barda versus Mad Harriet, Ariel versus Lashina. She's saying, in the forever war against New Genesis, it's kill or be killed. We see Stompa versus Bernadette. Never hold back. Never surrender. My Furies are stealthier, stronger, fiercer. We're ready this time. Darkseid cannot deny us our equal place in his inner circle. We will win this eternal war. We will forever seek man's acceptance to prove how strong we are. Actually, in this case, that's a little unfair to say. I mean, this is how they're coming at the Female Furies. This is how Cecil, whatever her name is writing it. But on Apocalypse, everybody seeks Darkseid's approval because otherwise he kills you. And sometimes he'll kill you because you seek his approval. You can't win. Oh, this page is a very special kind of suck. So Granny Goodness shows up and Darkseid says, "You're late." And she says, "I was misinformed of the meeting time. I'm here now with a surefire plan," which immediately she's told by Godfrey that it's not in your purview. Yeah, you're speaking out of turn, get it? And then she says, "Being a small elite force, the Forever people have us cornered. The solution is simple. Embed the Furies in your army and have them perform surgical strikes to eliminate them." Darkseid asks for everybody's thoughts rather than, being Darkseid. Desaad says, "We won't have the Furies poison our ranks with their lesser standards. Remember, if you make them a soldier, you can't lower the standards for females." We've had this discussion in real life as well, which actually I believe, because we have to keep up our standards of our army. Stick to the missions you could accomplish and that are more suited to your skills, says Gilbert Godfrey. You're overstating your place. Let's see what else. And the next one is, "Our actions show our value. We've never failed a mission, and we don't have to gain favor to lie to gain favor, Desaad." To which he says, "Careful, Granny Goodness. Don't let old bitterness poison you. Behave better," mansplaining. Darkseid says, "Enough." Granny Goodness says, "Let us demonstrate to you that we're worthy to fight." And Darkseid's very well. And Desaad says, "Always getting treatment, Granny, and always getting special treatment, and yet you still complain." So whenever anybody gives the proper respect, it's called special treatment. There is a lot of third wave feminism on this particular page. Wow, it's almost in every dang panel. But that's not the biggest slap in the face to Jack Kirby's creation. The next page is, "Years ago, my loyal right hands, we have all we need for eternal victory. We are poised to rule Apocalypse and bring our planet to glory. Goodness, stay here and clean up. We will talk of your future when I return." Granny says, "As you command," and Desaad does the whole unbelievable special treatment again. Later that night, Darkseid approaches Granny and says, "Battle makes me hungry for what food cannot fill. Come here, Goodness." And he sexually harasses her, forces her into a sexual relationship. It's Darkseid, guy. He is so far beyond this. Oh, goodness gracious. You know what? Jack Kirby has arisen, died again just so he could spin faster in his grave. And of course, the next day we see that Darkseid's gone out of the bed. He basically just used her. Which, okay, that part is, I guess, if he's going to be doing that, I could see Darkseid doing that particular thing. Anyway, next day, Granny shows up late to another meeting. Decides, like, well, she won't be punished for being late. And Darkseid says, "Well, you're going to be in charge of the orphanage." And Granny goes, "I'm not going to be a glorified nanny. I'm your equal. I am more valuable an asset to you than them." Which, of course, all the men laugh because they're men. She's a woman. Get it? But what really gets me is, why is she not being killed at this? Just omega affected by even suggesting that she is Darkseid's equal. I've seen it happen in other books. Darkseid would be killing her right now, so yeah, maybe she does get special treatment. Darkseid basically tells her to be quiet and get out, either do the job, get out of her sight, whatever, just, be quiet. And all the men say, "Well, you're the only one that's suited to this woman's work." And she goes to the orphanage and takes it over from someone named Tigra, who she says will rot in a jail cell from here on in, a non-entity. So if you haven't been counting, it's been 9 pages. On every one of those 9 pages, we get some third wave feminism going on. And I truly believe that they don't understand what a strong woman is. Just show them being strong like every other iteration of Female Furies. Instead, just like, "Oh, but I'm just a bit." You can't come from a position of weakness and then say you're strong. And that's exactly how everyone that is female is being written in this comic book. cut back to present day where Granny Goodness is showing off her training to the warriors. One of them, and this is really bad writing, by the way, none of them are better than my weakest soldier, and yet not one of your Furies is in my ranks. If they're not as good as your soldiers, why would they be in your ranks? It's horrible writing. So Granny tells them, well, they've got some strict training regiments. They're as good as any male. And she mentions that this one is really good. Somebody asks, is that Barda? No, it's Arlie, leader of the Female Furies, an immense talent unlike any other. She fights like a person would dance. So the guys start talking. Nonsense. Willick, get me a big or heavy girl or the one with the whips. And then the other guy says, or a crazy one, though. I prefer severe features like that one. And then another guy says, my sister Bernadette is a desiccated mule. If you can bring rain to that dessert, I'll give her to you myself. Are you trying to say bring rain to that desert? Perhaps an editor would be okay. And of course, Granny gets mad because you're here to judge them by their abilities, not their looks. And one of the guys says, we are, Goodness. You're overacting to a little bit of fun among friends. You're always so uptight, it's ugly on you. My goodness gracious, every gosh darn. I don't even have to write jokes for this. I just have to read it and point out. Can you believe this book and what they're doing to the fourth world characters? So anyway, it said that, well, there's a few more tests we would like to check out because, you know, the smell of their sweat will tell you all they need to know about a warrior. And Darkseid says, proceed to part 2, to which Granny says, what else could they show you? They've proven their worth 1,000 times. And we cut to the Female Furies who are all ticked off that they have to go through this antiquated contest to show off their skills. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the single worst page on any comic book. I mean, this is the most disrespectful to Jack Kirby and his creations. These are the contests that Darkseid himself signed off on. He would never care about this stuff, but this is what he signs on for the Female Furies. First is the bake-off. The last time I cooked, I accidentally poisoned my uncle. My brother had never been so proud. I wish I'd thought of poison. There was some on the spice rack, says, I guess that's Lash. And, of course, Darkseid's looking at everything, and he says, fail. He's judging a baking contest, guys. And Desaad is saying one could hardly call this edible. Next is the evening gowns, where, what the hell is this? Am I dead or delirious? And we see Barda saying, useless piece of clothing, I can't fight in this. And then, of course, it's the smile contest. Hey, how about a little smile? And, of course, they're all in bikinis. I'll take the three on the left, says one of the women, and the big one, and the leader is saying, I'm going to kill someone. And the guys are saying, where's your smile, Goodness? More teeth. It is a smile contest after all. Desaad saying, egads, those are less smiles, more grimaces. And off we hear, enough, this is ridiculous. This has nothing to do with our capabilities. There you go, guys. The absolute worst page in comic book history. And I've read some real stinkers. I read one that had a phrase. I swear to you, this was written in a comic book I read. With the Earth and the Moon between them, they left our solar system. Think about that for a second. And then realize this comic book is worse. But, of course, Darkseid says fail. All of his minions are laughing at him. Oh, we'll see you next year. And that one that you raised there, the leader, she's really good on the eyes. And Granny gets mad at the girls and says they have to train harder. But it really seems like they have to train in the bake-off and the gown competitions, the smiling. You're training them wrong, considering what Cecil Castellucci thinks that Darkseid wants out of Female Furies. After that, we see Granny training him again, saying, you be better, you get the hell out of my sight. The guy named Willick comes down, wants to buy Areli or whatever her name is so he could have sex with her. And Barda's like, what's that all about? And they're saying, well, Willick wants to have sex with her. And they're like, yeah, she's always getting special treatment because she looks that way. She's asking for it, blah, 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 yada, yada. We've heard it before. And, of course, when she goes to Willick's quarters, he sexually harasses her and says that if she doesn't accept his advances, he'll have her demoted. And we see Barda mad at Areli, not sympathetic, because she thinks that when she goes to the Protectorate, Willick's quarters, he's actually giving her training and not just trying to sexually harass her, where we see Aurelie saying, I would never let one of you go to him. It's amazing to me. Now, you know what? Okay, I could kind of see this as far as the minions are concerned, in all honesty, trying to take advantage and that kind of stuff, because they are evil bastards. Let's not kid ourselves on that part. Showing evil bastards, being evil bastards, that's fine. Dark side I would put above all of this, but the minions, not quite so much. And we find out that the mission is to basically pick up a wayward girl, but Aurelie notices that she's at peace when Aurelie is not. A man shows up and says, ha, they sent 2 women to do what one man can, and Aurelie's like, hold on, this is our jurisdiction. It's like, bull crap, the Protectorate is higher level than Granny Goodness. And as the Protectorate is walking away with a wayward girl, he says, give us a kiss and your torture will be less. And that's when Aurelie has enough and slices his throat. And then she threatens Barda with harm if she doesn't help hide the body, which they agree to do so on a passing comment. Aurelie says to Big Barda, swear to me that we'll speak of to no. And Aurelie says to Big Barda, swear to me that we'll speak of it to no one. Barda says, I swear, your special training was to help us prove that we are better than them, not worse. And she says, this is being better. Next issue, Secrets Between Sisters. So this was not a well-received comic book. And it's not just what it does to the characters in the fourth world and how poorly they're respected, but it's also, in that respect, it's bad writing. There is no nuance to any character. Women are all excellent, good people, well, at least at the end, and all the men are exactly the sexist jackasses. There is no middle ground. There's no nuance. There's no real character. There's only caricatures. This isn't, as I said before, this is Cecil Castellucci putting her voice into these characters instead of finding the voice of the characters. And that's something we see many, many times when we find books like this. Thankfully, as far as the mainstream is concerned, they're getting more rare, but occasionally they do pop up. And unfortunately, they are horrible, but so I love it when people are pointing them out. That's what we do. We have to go, look, guys, and tell DC, tell Marvel, this is unacceptable. Tell them why it's unacceptable. Not just because, get your politics out of our... There's always been politics, and it's always been liberal in comic books. So saying that doesn't affect them. But pointing out how wrong it is for the characters. And fight, because they'll argue with you. They'll tell you why they think that this kind of stuff is perfect for these characters. But they're missing the point. It makes them weak. If you have to have someone else change in order for you to be strong, you're not a strong character. And that's what all of this is all about. In order for the Female Furies to be strong, the men have to change in this world. And that's wrong. That's not the way you write a strong character, and that's where this series has truly failed. Anyway, that's my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. But the most important is to ring that bell and make sure your notifications are on all so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. Also, if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi. Put $1 in the tip jar. It's always appreciated. And if you want to commission your own video, go on over to Ko-Fi. Once again, links in the description below. Just pick any topic, pick any subject, and we'll get that video out to you ASAP. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.